And right now it's all about Ukraine. But where do you want to go? What's up
Yeah, let's hit that. We might as
with
well
that?
just to get it out the way. You know what I mean?
All right.
Support for Ukraine, but what about
What
us?
about us? Right. I mean, and you hear that sentiment often. One of the topics we had a couple weeks ago was should we send our troops to other countries? And that's kind of what people were saying. Like, we have issues here. Good evening, Lynette. Okay, I was in the wrong area. That's why I didn't see anybody saying anything. What's up, Pat? Um, now I get that, Nike, and you're right. That sentiment is legitimate. But I go back to one of the cliches that is always often said, that if you don't know and practice history, you're bound to repeat it. You know,
Yeah.
um, I don't think that I don't think there'll ever be a time again when we can solely focus in on what's happening here. I think that we still have to pay attention and be involved with things that happen all over the world. I
We
don't.
have to pay attention, but we don't have to run and jump every time another country, has something going on. And here's another thing. I'm gonna tell you what, this war is fake as hell.
Why do you
And I'm gonna
say
tell
that?
you why. So, they trying to do the great reset, which I've been talking about that for weeks, right?
Mhm.
So what they're going to try to do is blame this war that's going to come, and because if it was a real threat, they'd be talking about nukes and all that bullshit. But then
No,
we all be dead. You know
no,
what I
they
mean?
have wars without. Every war
I
is not
know, but
nuclear
listen
wars.
to me.
Okay.
For major countries like the U.S. and Russia, they be bullying people because they got them nuclear weapons.
Right.
But look, so they know they're not going to actually have a real war.
Mm.
What it is now that we starting to have all these electric cars and and now we have all of these windmills and all
Mm.
these different ways of energy, of ways of getting energy. The oil prices and the gas prices are are going to suffer. Well, the people that make money from that are going to not suffer, but they're not going
Yeah.
to make as much money as they would. So, okay, how do we get more money coming through the pipeline
Mm.
for the oil and the gas?
Start
Oh,
with me.
well, we could start a war and say that they shutting down the gas lines, or not giving us enough gas, and then next thing you know, gas gonna be $5 a gallon.
It's inching up there now anyway. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo, so what? You remember in the Iraq War,
Mm-hmm.
it was weapons of mass destruction that time, right?
That we were looking for. Right.
That we were looking for. They didn't have no weapons of mass destruction.
Right. Right.
And if you remember, then gas went to like $5 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just them trying to level out the market so they can get the money that they were getting.
See, but this one is a little different though, Nike, because this one you have one side, which I mean, this time we're on the side trying to prevent a war. We're telling Putin, which is Russia, to not go into Ukraine, to not invade its neighbor. So this one is a little different, though. The U.S. is not pushing for a war. So when you say it's fake, what do you mean? Who's
You
faking?
you think they didn't negotiate this ahead of time?
Who
You
did?
think you think you think the Russian government and the U.S. government and the UK government and all these different governments, you think that they just came up with this this just came up out of the blue, like all of a sudden he just want to go and invade Ukraine for no apparent
Well,
reason.
no. He started. That Ukraine has been kind of in a war with Russia since 14. In 2014, Putin took part of Ukraine, Crimea, I think it was called.
Crimea.
He
Right,
went in and took part of their land and
right,
occupied it. It has been
right.
occupied it. They've been
But
shooting at each other since that time, and now he's surrounding the full country, basically saying that he's not going to go in and take the rest of it, and that's what the argument is about. So you think
but they haven't been aggressive towards Russia since then.
who hasn't been
So
aggressive towards Russia?
Ukraine.
Well, Ukraine is a little country. They're not going to be aggressive
So
against
that's what I'm
Russia.
saying. So how come all of a sudden now Putin is like, yeah, I'm going to
I'm gonna
wait
take
until
the rest of it
2022, and now we just going to go and invade for what? Like for what? Why would you invade the Ukraine if it
because he
wasn't about
can.
oil or
Because he can.
land or
But now,
hmm?
what actually, and that's what you just said, land. Because remember, Ukraine was a part of the USSR. When the
Hmm.
USSR broke up, it became one of their small provinces. And the argument is that Putin wants to bring all of that back together. So he's
Right,
saying, okay, he went into Georgia before, and he took part of Ukraine in 14. So he's saying, all right, this year I'm going to take the rest of it. So,
right. But you
so
know why that is, right?
why?
Because
Why you
there's
think?
pipelines that run through there.
Well, actually, now listen to this. The U.S. said, and the European Union told him one of the sanctions that they're threatening is if he invades them, they're not gonna allow him to build that pipeline because it has to go through their territory. So
That's
again,
why that's why he wants to. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the bottom line. This shit is not about like because they don't like the Ukrainians or because they got an attitude or they don't like the US. It's all about this money, man.
it is
That's
well,
what
yeah,
all
true, true.
that's what all these wars is
Yeah.
about.
But I
And
just
I
don't
would
know.
not send my son over. My son, I got four sons.
Mm,
I got three sons left and a
right,
daughter, and
right.
I would not send any of them over there to
Well,
fight.
well, if your kid was in the military, it wouldn't be up to you to send them. If they were in the military and they said they had to go, they would be over there.
But
But
they
I
ain't.
don't know, right? Correct, because they're not in the military. But again, I don't know if I don't think that we can idly sit by and watch him go over and take over another country and take over their land. I don't. That's what I'm saying in the beginning. I don't think that you can allow that to happen anymore. The
Well,
same
how
way
come the
that
UK ain't? How come the UK didn't step up? That's over there,
they are, they are.
over
But
there.
but everybody, the European Union or what is it, NATO, that all of those countries are a part of, they are united, telling him that they're not going to allow that. They all are saying that if he does this, they're going to be take part in the sanctions that they're proposing.
Right,
So
but
I don't
is
think.
all of those money sending? Are all of those countries sending all this money to Ukraine,
What
or is
you
that
mean?
coming from
No,
the
no,
United States?
all of them are. All of them are sending weapons and sending all these different defensive weapons and also now offensive weapons they're sending to Ukraine so that they can protect themselves. And I think we have to. Like I said, I think nowadays, Nike, the world is so small and we have weapons that can go from one country to the next, fly overseas within a matter of hours or so. I don't think we could ignore things that happen outside of these borders. I don't think we can do that
I'm
anymore.
not saying ignore it, but what I'm saying is we have problems right here in the
True.
U.S.
Mm,
that they're not concerned with fixing,
mm.
and yet they're going overseas trying to fix somebody else's issue.
Now,
Fix here,
I
fix
agree with
here.
that. We
They
have
owe
to be.
us.
I agree with that.
Pay us what you owe, and then y'all can go and take care of anybody y'all want to. But y'all can't do that without paying us what you owe us. How
Now
can you
I
do that?
agree with that. I do think though that you still you basically you have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. You can't
Right.
ignore what's happening here and only focus on there. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I
And
think
all
this
those
country
trillions of dollars that they spending in the military, like
absolutely.
some of that money can be used for issues on your home soil.
Yeah,
Like you
agreed.
don't need all of that all of that extra, all of those trillions of dollars and all of
Mm,
that
mhm.
for weapons that you supposedly got the best weapons anyway.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, but you still got to update them and you have to
You
stay
still
relevant.
got to update them.
Because the other
I'm
thing
not
too,
saying
like
that, but what I'm saying is, like you said, got to be able to
walking through
walk
them.
and chew gum.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like, you know, of course, some people will call the US a bully, but let's put that to the side. You have some countries like Russia that if the United States were not strong, they would be trying to come over here. They will be the what keeps us safe is our strength. You know what I mean? So we
Same
have
can be
to be
said about
strong.
black folks. That's the way we need to look at it.
Well, true, true.
You know what I
True.
mean?
I mean, I agree. I don't disagree with what you're saying though, that you can just ignore the problems at home and focus solely on what's happening in another country.
Yeah, the
I just don't
government
think
is
that
big. They
the
have so
government is
many
big,
different.
right? Right.
Yeah,
Different
yeah, they
branches,
can
and that's
do
what
that.
you have. That's why you delegate. You have the Secretary of the Interior or what have you to take a look at what's happening here and focus on those issues. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that when people say that we need to just not pay attention to what's happening all outside of these shores. I don't agree with that though.
Like trillions of dollars to Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works and
Mm-hmm.
Boeing and all these companies. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah. All right.